I was told you have 10 minutes, but since we're 3 panelists, they can be 11. So I'll alert you.
Hello, my name is Bushiratu, and my colleague here is Haajaratu, and we are both Mastercard Foundation scholars from Ghana. I'm from Paga, a remote community that borders Ghana and Burkina Faso, and this is in the Upper East region of Ghana. I was born to a family where my dad had 8 wives, and I had 36 siblings. Of these siblings, I was the last born. My dad was a small-scale farmer, and among that, my mom divorced when I was born. I was brought back to my dad's house when I started working, and there I started schooling. This is where I schooled, and a similar situation still happening in most communities in rural Ghana, most rural communities in Ghana in the north. We sat under schools' classrooms on the bare floor with no chairs, and our only source of learning at that time was in school and just listening to the teachers with no textbooks. The few in a classroom who have used materials are less than 5 mostly. After school, I mostly go to the border town of my community link in Burkina Faso, where I hawk, a similar situation of my back 10 years ago. And this helps me with my basic living daily needs, like food and also washing materials, washing soap for my clothing. This helps me to be good in basic subtraction and addition. As I went back to school, I was good in mathematics, and I still went in other subjects. And at the end of the day, I performed well and left basic school good. And I had a comfort scholarship at secondary school in a similar situation as my colleague here, Haajaratu. This scholarship in the secondary school, Comfort campaign for female education, sponsored our school fees and bursary needs. And this was the period where I owned my first textbooks in my life. In the secondary school, I also performed very well, and at the end of the day, both of us attended the same undergraduate school in Ghana under the Mastercard Foundation Tertiary Scholarship. During our first and second years in school, we started engaging in our communities. As we understand the power of education in making us stand out among our colleagues and reach a tertiary level, we started going back to school to educate students during our vacation periods. And the first one here is myself educating students in my community back in Paga, and Zama also in the northern region in her community as well. Fast forward, 2019 came. The whole world experienced the COVID pandemic. Ghana was not left behind. In 2020, we were locked down in Ghana. Schools were closed. This made us go back to our communities. Whilst I was home back in Paga, in my community, I was saddened by the situation that children in my community still had to listen to teachers only in the classroom, and now there was no more school. Uncertain about when we go back to school, I mobilized my friends in the community to start helping students to read and write whilst we wait for the school's resumption. There, we got some fundraising, books, and others to help in this activity. We did this for 3 good months, and then schools were to resume. I was still not happy because this is not a sustainable solution to our problem. I started searching out the internet, looking for opportunities. And then I came across the African Publishing Innovation Fund by the IPA, International Publishers Association. Fortunately enough, in 2021, we won the African Publishing Innovation Fund among other 5 international awardees. And this led, this led to the construction of the Paga Community Library, currently serving other communities in that particular district. The library currently have 3,000 plus books and 10 computers for learning. With the help of the community, with the chief donating land, among others, this was how we came by completing this particular library project. Starting 2023, we started running reading clubs and then mobile libraries in schools, 6 schools in Ghana. We currently have more than 50 volunteers, with 15 of them helping with the reading clubs activities weekly basis, going to the schools and then having reading sessions with them with the help of our books from our partners, Book.aid International, and then local publishers in Ghana as well. And up here is our volunteers sorting out books to send to schools in 2023. Okay. Ghana is located in West Africa. In sub-Saharan Africa, we have about 534 million people living in poverty. And among these, about 3 million of them are living in Ghana. The people of Ghana, especially those in northern Ghana, we have 3 northern regions in Ghana, especially those in this particular area, live less than $2 a day. Imagine your daily expenses, only food in Lebanon, less than $10 a day. And these people are living less than $2, and even majority cannot still afford this in the rural communities. There are a lot of systemic challenges in our communities back in Ghana, especially these remote communities. But the persistence of these ones are mostly challenged or severe due to the poverty situation in these communities. Among these is the educational barriers, which we are focusing on. And Ghanaian children, as statistics shows, are limited in terms of quality education due to the infrastructural challenges, lack of quality teachers, and the few that we have are not always distributed to the remote areas. About 81.5% of Ghanaian children face poverty, multiple dimensional poverty. And with this, rural and northern Ghanaian children are at the higher risk. The lack of affordability for schools, as private schools are expensive and they cannot afford, among the inadequate supplies of educational materials, limit the progress of Ghana towards achieving quality primary and secondary education.
Majority of the children in Ghana are unable to transition after secondary school. This is because before 2017, before 2017, secondary education wasn't free in Ghana. And in an attempt to correct this, the government of Ghana made secondary education to be free. So from the basic to the secondary level, it is free education. This saw an increase in enrollment in the number of children to secondary school, but it came with its own challenges, including classroom congestion. Imagine a class with over 100 students. So 100 students, and then you have just one teacher to handle these students, and the classrooms are not equipped with the needed materials, few chairs. We don't even have this PA system, so most of the students can't hear the teacher. And then in the inadequate learning materials. For example, in 2021, out of the 446,000 students who registered for their final secondary examination, only 36% were able to enroll in further education. This was due to mainly bad academic performances and limited financial resources. This is also because tertiary education is very expensive in Ghana, and at this level, we do not have scholarship. So we have a very huge number of students beginning from the primary to the secondary, and after that, they are left with nothing. So this is the education system in Ghana. The primary education is 6 years, lower secondary 3 years, secondary education also 3 years. So irrespective of the poverty, child labor, and the limited educational financing and low school retention, we still have a good number of students proceeding. But from secondary to tertiary, there is a big gap here, like I mentioned, because of the financial constraints. And this is where Empowered Ghana comes in. We believe that if we help the students transition from this secondary to the tertiary level, they are going to be able to graduate successfully, contribute to the skilled labor in our country, reducing poverty, contributing to the economic development, and thereby increasing the quality of education. Our foundation has been running an empowerment summit for the past 3 years, and this is a one-day workshop which is targeted at helping high school graduates transition successfully to the tertiary level. We had a post-assessment on the impact of our program to ask them, what do you think we can do to make this better? And most of the students mentioned that they need assistance in writing essays for their scholarship. They also need assistance to rewrite their secondary school exams, as most of them were unable to make it, and also where to find these opportunities. Most students are limited by information. They do not know, this is where I can go to find this scholarship, this is where I can go to find opportunities. Hence, we saw the need to scale up by introducing Empowered Ghana as part of our Learner Girls Foundation initiatives. Empowered Ghana aims to bridge the gap through mentorship and transferable skills. We mentor these high school students, and we are targeting mainly high-achieving graduates in Northern Ghana particularly, because this is the region that is having the most higher rates of school dropouts and then limited educational quality. The intervention is expected to take place in cycles, and we are beginning by a hybrid mentorship program, which would involve a traditional one-on-one in-person mentorship and also an online mentorship program. And we are going to rely on the Mastercard Foundation alumni in Ghana to help us facilitate this. Our curriculum would involve essay writings, interview readiness, and entrance examination preparation so that these students are better prepared to write their exams. Our beneficiaries will also have the opportunity to engage in community outreach projects. And as we all know, engaging in these activities not only build their leadership, but would also enhance their social responsibility. And this will be very key in their scholarship application, because most scholarships are looking for these key characteristics in individuals. Their mentorship program is supposed to begin 1 month after the final secondary examination, and it will last a total of 1 year, after which they graduate and we initiate a new cohort. Our timeline will start by the recruitment of the mentors, where we would share an online form for interested volunteers to sign up. We would also set up a physical and learning space, and this would be where the in-person sessions would take place. And we also need digital tools and internet access to help these students access the resources needed, and also for the online mentorship. Finally, we'll start our curriculum, where we'll be helping these students in essay writing, reviewing their essays when they are done with it, helping them with the interview and all that. At the end of the day, Empowered Ghana aims to be a beacon of hope for the children in Northern Ghana. By bridging the gap in education, we are not just empowering these students, we are empowering communities, paving way to creating positive change in Northern Ghana. Thank you.